What's going on, Timberwolves fans? It's Tyrus here once again. We're going to talk some Timberwolves news. Today was a pretty big day for the Timberwolves. We named a new CEO. If you guys didn't know, uh, Mark Lore and A Rod were in the market for a new one. Um, they've made some pretty big business changes across a whole organization. A new CEO being probably the biggest one. Um, they were in the market trying to find someone. Um, Rumors from my friend Parker Fox, who actually ended up breaking the news himself, was that it was going to be quite the swing to try to get this guy. And a swing it was because we got Matthew Caldwell from the Florida Panthers, which is an NHL team. And if you're not a hockey fan, the Florida Panthers just won back to back titles in the NHL. And he'd been there 9 years, and he built them up, and they've been winning a lot. I think they made the playoffs most those years. Not a big hockey guy myself, but I am familiar with the last two titles they won, and they made huge swings to go and get them. On top of also having record-breaking ticket sales in like the last 9 years of the team. Obviously, Florida not a big hockey market, and so for them to be able to capitalize, clearly he's a good CEO and he's got a business mind and he's going to help grow the Timberwolves. And Lore and A Rod obviously trust him, and it's pretty exciting that we would be able to go get a guy like this. The Timberwolves are typically a team that don't get their first pick for CEO. So for us to reach out and grab a guy like Caldwell, who is probably top of the market, I'd say, in terms of CEOs for sports, like who wouldn't want the guy who was a CEO for a team who won back to back Stanley Cups? That's not easy to do in any sport, let alone the Stanley Cup. So, Caldwell, welcome to Minnesota. I hope you like it. It's a little colder than Florida. If you are a hockey guy, go check out some Wild games. I don't know. It's a little colder. It's a little colder than Florida, so I hope you like it here, and I hope your family stay down in Florida and you can visit them in the off season. But welcome. I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys think of hiring Caldwell. I know he's not going to get us wins on the court himself, making threes, blocking shots, but off the court, this is a great improvement for the team, and it's clear that we're taking steps in the right direction, become a better organization as a whole with moves like this and not settling and not just hiring someone who's done the job before somewhere else and it hasn't really worked out for him. We got a guy who's succeeded at the highest level, and I think it's something we should all be excited about. So, welcome once again, Caldwell. Uh, let's move along here, though. So, the next thing, we've worked on some trades here recently, and I know I talked about how hard it is to get a three-team trade to work, and it is. It's not an easy thing to do. You got to make some money shift around and fly around some weird places, but I did it, guys. I did it, and I did it for us and the Bulls. And here's how it works out, okay? We'd be sending Rudy and Rob Dillingham to Chicago. Get them a center who's a little more expensive than Vooch, but we get them a point guard that they don't have to extend right now. And that's clearly something they're not comfortable with because they're in a midst of a rebuild, you could say. So we get them Rudy, a center right now, and a point guard of the future who doesn't have to be extended. Great, great. For us, we're going to take Kobe White from them. And the third team in this trade, the Nets, the team with the most capital in the entire league. They have the highest cap space in of any team, and they're not really using it. So let's put it to good use. We would be taking Nicholas Claxton and Drew Timme from the Nets, and we'd be sending them Leonard Miller, basically, because they're going to get Vooch in this. So they're excelling their age a little bit by getting Vooch, but there'd be a plethora of picks coming their way for sure from us in the Bulls. How that works out, I don't know. I never like to guess on picks because I feel like each GM values picks differently, and you never really know how many a guy's going to go for. It all depends on value, but I would be saying that we'd be given the Nets probably would be getting two picks from us and probably another first round from the Bulls that would be coming through us because we'd be getting a pick, and Kobe White would be my assumption, at least for Rob Dillingham and Rudy. We can assume that would be the value, but these picks are weird. You never really know what's going to work out because the NBA is different from the NFL, where you could trade a guy for 5 first round picks and you don't have to trade two other players with them who are good role players. You know, Like it's very different. So I like this trade a lot. I think it gives us some great versatility and it keeps us young. And it's guys that are gonna have to be extended soon, but they're not gonna take that much money. Like Rudy's gonna start making 50 million here soon because of the his contract. Each year he makes a little bit more and a little bit more. That's gonna be nearing 50. So to get him off the books would be good for us. And to get Nicholas Claxton, he's a young center who I like. I think he's pretty good. And Kobe White obviously is only making 12 million this year, but we'd be extending him. So we're right back in kind of that extending thing that we were trying to avoid. And I think Rob was going to help with that. But I think sending Rob to Chicago while they're doing the rebuild with Mateus and whoever else they have over there, Josh Giddey, I think it'd be a good move for us to get Kobe White, a guy who could be the number 2 right next to Ant. He could facilitate the floor a little bit. He can also score and get his. Seems like a guy that we'd want in the door. I know there's been some rumors about it this entire summer. Let's make it happen. A 3-team trade with the team that has the highest cap space. Let's do it. They'll take some picks. They just spent 3 first-round picks this year. They'll probably do it again if we give them 3 more next year, Makes sense in my eyes. Next up here, Malik Beasley, guys. He's out of the woods of being investigated by the FBI for potentially throwing games. Good for Malik. I'm glad. Good for the sport. It's bullet dodge for everyone involved there. Bad news is all of the free agency money's been spent. Malik was set to make, probably he was going to get a 3-year, $40 million contract. And now I bet he doesn't get anything more than 8 to 10 million for a year is my guess. Somewhere in that ballpark, maybe 15 this year. You got to feel bad for the guy. Like, he was going to make his biggest payday yet, and he got accused of something he didn't do. So, should he be a guy that Timberwolves look at signing? I still don't think so. I still don't, I think he's, unfortunately, the trouble that comes with them and all of this surrounding him, we'd only be getting him for a year. I don't think Conley and not Tibbs, Finch really like these rental players. I think they want guys that they can get in for a couple years, get them into the system and the culture, and then they'll really start to excel. We've seen it with Nikhil. Conley had a revival to his career. I think we're going to see a jump from Randall even next year and Dante. So we'll see, but I don't think Malik is worth it. I don't. I hope a team signs him and they sign him for a bit, but I hope that team's in the East, to be honest with you. I think a team maybe like the Nets or the Pacers or someone who has a little bit more space could grab him and he could excel there. But I don't see him as a good fit for the Timberwolves just in terms of the space that we have for guards. He's not a point guard, so he doesn't exactly fit exactly what we would need. So let's just avoid the whole situation, and someone else can pay him an absolute bag next year, please, because the guy deserves it. He was great this year. Him and Ant going back and forth for most 3-pointers made this season was fun to watch, and I hope he still has a great season. Speaking of where the team's at and all of that, what are the Timberwolves going to look like in 5 years? It's a question I've been asking myself. What were we going to look like in 2030? Ant's going to be 29 by then. He's still going to be in his prime. Like, he's not even going to be 30 in 5 years, which is nuts to think about. He's been in the league for 5 years, and he just turned 23, 24. It was this summer, too. I think he turned 24. So he's going to be 29 years old at the start of 2030 season. What are we going to look like? We could kind of assume that Jaden hopefully will still be here. Rudy's definitely going to be gone. Mike's going to be gone. Randall, we could call 50-50. Dante, we could call even less than that. Doubt he's there. If Rob does stick with the team, he'll probably be our point guard of the future. We can really hope. But outside of Ant and probably Jaden, maybe Nas is here. Like, we're going to have a whole new team surrounding Ant in just 5 short years. The NBA is probably the fastest moving league in the entirety of the big 4 leagues. Baseball's pretty fast moving, but the NBA, who's going to be our starting 5 by then? Like, we have no clue. Like, they may not even be in the league yet, which is nuts. And especially with how the CBA is moving, like, we know we're only going to be able to sign 2 guys. to like the big contracts. And that someone is always going to be Ant, and next to him is probably Jaden. Like if Jaden keeps progressing the way we want him to, we're not going to trade him. We're going to keep him, and the guy's going to look awesome next to Ant as a Pippen type player. Uh, Offense, he's pretty good. Defense, even better. We just gotta hope that that's how things pan out. So in 5 years, I want to say the team looks like this. We've won one title. We got to win one in the next five. Otherwise, Ant's going to end up as a KG type player. He might start wanting out, especially as this kind of current team starts to age out. We got to get rid of guys. We're cutting books, maybe. One title, two titles, hopefully. And we're going to have a lot of new guys. That's kind of where I'd say we'd be at in 5 years. And Ant's still going to want to win. He's going to be the face of the league in 5 years for sure, without a doubt. It's going to be him and Shea and, I don't know, Flag and probably still Luka. Luka's will be 30-ish. Like, the league as we know it is going to be different in just 5 short years. All of the kind of big stars that we know now are going to start to fade out pretty quickly here. And 2030 is going to be a very different year that Ant hopefully will be headlining with a very new look Timberwolves is my guess. I will 100% say that the Timberwolves will not look nearly as set in stone as we do this season. That is an absolute lock without a doubt. But that's all I have for you guys today. Give me your thoughts on what you think the Timberwolves are going to look like in just 5 short years, and I will see you guys next time. Random Timberwolf to end the video. Let's go with Alexei Shved. Let's go there. Yeah, classic. Take care, guys.